try, for there's no end of sorrow, there's no hope by and by. Oh, but I know thou art with me, and tomorrow I'll rise when the storms never darken the skies, till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Oh, hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. When the long night has ended and the storms come no more, let me stand in thy presence on that bright, peaceful shore, in that land where the tempest never comes. Lord, may I dwell with thee when the storm passes by. When the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Oh, hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by.
Ooh, good morning. And welcome to Unity Church. We are a loving, meaningful relationships. We envision a world profoundly transformed by spiritually aware individuals who demonstrate unconditional love for all humanity, honor the divinity in all people, and inspire the spiritual healing and growth of themselves, others, their communities, and the planet. We are pleased to welcome both those in our sanctuary this morning and those who are joining us via our live stream. For those in the sanctuary, please silence your cell phones. to prevent any notifications being picked up by our live stream microphone. We will now greet one another here and at home with silent namaste greetings. I behold the Christ in you.
That omnipotence that we call the divine. And within that one presence and one power, there is all that we could dream and hope for. Whether that's strength and wisdom, compassion and love, whether that's knowledge, the wisdom to know what is ours to do. Whatever that might be, that is contained within this divine mind. And that and more, and so much more. And because we are made in the image and likeness of this divine, it is who we are, then we too hold those same qualities and attributes. We hold that knowledge and wisdom. We hold that love and compassion. We are
Please welcome our Isabel House kids to the front.
Quick talk with you guys. Okay. So, we are going to be singing a song called Jesus Loves Me. All right? And in this song, we're talking about how much God loves children. Children are so magical and loving, and they give their love so very freely. And most of all, they are connectors. They connect people together. Everybody say connection. So I'm going to tell you a little story that I love to tell. So each and every morning, I take a morning walk, and my kiddos know that because I have to haul them with me. But years ago, before they were here, I was walking the neighborhood each morning, and I would see a man, and he would always wear a brown hat. I'm going to call him the brown hat man, okay? And so I would see this brown hat man every single morning. And when he saw me, he would say, "Hey there." And I would say hi. And I would keep walking, he would keep walking. This happened almost every morning for years. I would see the brown hat man, and he'd say, "Hey there." And I'd say hello. So I eventually took a little break because I had just had a new baby. And I was at home for quite some time. But then when I started walking again, Who did I see? The brown hat man. And he saw me pushing a stroller. And so, instead of him saying, "Hey there," he walks up to me and he grabs my shoulder and he says, "How wonderful." And he walks around and he says, "What's her name?" And I say, "Lily." And he says, "Absolutely beautiful." For the first time, I got to see the brown hat man's beautiful green eyes. For the first time, I heard him talk to me. And for the first time, he gave me that gentle touch on the shoulder. And he said, "You know what? All they really need is a lot of love. You're going to do great, kid." So the brown hat man connected me, and he was connected to me by this little child. And that's the kind of magic you guys have. So are you ready to sing the song? All right, stand up.
Let's give another hand clap to our Isabel kids this morning. All right. Let's now stand and join in affirming our statement of being. Together. An individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You may be seated. Our daily word is world peace. My loving thoughts. I build a house of peace, compassion, and acceptance. I invite others into this house through my kind words and actions. I live in an awareness that all people are divine. All deserve respect and a channel to express their true selves. I view the people of the world as my neighbors. We may look, talk, or believe differently, but it is this very diversity that fills the world with beauty. I radiate divine love to all and gratefully receive the love that returns to me. This exchange is the basis of lasting peace. Together, one word, one smile, one act of compassion at a time, we build a peaceful world. If it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. That's from Romans 12:18. All right, so I would like to introduce our guest speaker for this morning. Reverend Dr. Russ Jackman is an ordained unity minister, and chiropractic physician whose life work bridges spiritual transformation, holistic health, and community building. He brings to his ministry almost 4 decades of experience helping individuals and communities awaken to their wholeness in body, mind, and spirit. Ordained through Unity Worldwide Ministries in 2022, Rev Russ currently serves as Minister of Record at Unity of Little Rock, where he has guided the congregation through seasons of renewal, growth, and reconnection. His ministry is rooted in Unity's timeless principles of oneness, love, and personal empowerment, and animated by deep belief that spiritual community is both sanctuary and catalyst for transformation. And now, Angela will play us into our time of meditation.
If you're willing, I invite you to close your eyes, at least soften your gaze. As we enter this time of meditation, let's remember who we are. We're the divine, alive, with each breath that we breathe, that inhalation, that exhalation. This is the breath of God, moving, alive within each and every one of us.
down, and oh, my soul so weary. When troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. Oh, I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
I want to say, wow, what a treat it is to have such wonderful music. Um, yes, yes. And I hope you appreciate it, because not every unity has this quality of music. You're blessed. You're blessed. On the drive over here, I was trying to remember the last time I was here, and I can't even remember what decade it was. I do remember I sat back there on the back row, though, probably hiding at the time, because it was long before my Unity ministerial days. But during that drive, I have driven from Little Rock to Memphis, I bet hundreds of times. Sometimes coming to Memphis, usually heading through Memphis, right? And that drive is just nice and flat. There's not a whole lot happening except it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, it never looks quite the same. It's either incredibly green or just a little green. The farmland is plowed. The farmland is flooded. The farmland has little soybeans or rice or corn. And those soybeans may be this tall or this tall, as well as the corn maybe down here or up here. It always looks different. But when I come through in the winter, it always looks a little dark and dreary, like it's waiting on something. And perhaps it is waiting. It's dormant. It's waiting for that arrival of something. And it makes me think about us. Don't we sometimes, when we're being challenged in life, discouraged in life, don't we sometimes wait? Wait for inspiration, wait for clarity, wait for somebody to help us, for somebody to fix what's taking place. But in that waiting, there's not always a lack that's taking place. Just like in that winter, those plants, there's something actually alive taking place. There's a power within them, and there's a power within us at the same time. And that power doesn't go away. That power isn't lost. That power resides within us all the time, always expressing within us. When we talk about unity and talk about the idea of power in unity, power sometimes somehow we're going to force something to take place. But within unity, power has a whole different definition. So I just realized where your slides were here. I can see mine back there, but where yours are here. And who's going to do advanced slides for me? Back there? You are, okay. So I'm just making sure. That was one of the clarities I didn't get before, was how do you advance slides here? Okay. When I'm in Little Rock, I hold a clicker, and I advance them myself. All right. Sorry. I took a segue there, and I will come back. Spiritual power is something that resides within us. I mean, it doesn't reside with just in one person, right? It resides within all of us. Right? And even within a community, it doesn't reside just in one person. It resides in all of us. And Charles Fillmore, you can advance to the next slide, please. Charles Fillmore tells us that, that we have these 12 faculties. They're the attributes, the qualities we have on how we express the divine. And all of us have these qualities, these attributes. Power, that attribute, that quality of power, and what that means for us in our lives. But Charles Fillmore said that from divine mind, humanity inherits power over their thoughts and feelings. So through divine mind, we inherit it. What's inherit mean? What's inherit mean? What was that? You're given. It means you got it, right? It's yours, right? So you inherit it. You've got it. You've got that power, that ability to manage your thoughts and feelings and not let them manage you, right? It means that you can maintain that power and not be maintained by our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions. They don't control us in our life. Right? So in unity, we also associate this spiritual power with spiritual dominion. And again, dominion isn't that we have this control over. So often dominion is used about we have dominion over our planet, that we somehow have kind of control over it. I don't know about you, but I don't think we control this planet very well at all, do we? It seems to do what it wants to do. So power is really about us being able to, you can advance to the next one, is able to, that ability to that not from a forcing down, but to take action with it, to allow it to develop the way it needs to develop in us. Because there's nothing wrong with our emotions, right? Even those emotions we say are not good emotions, they're telling us something. There's not something wrong with them. They're just the way that we acknowledge what's taking place within us. But the trick is not to let them control us, that we react out of them. Right? So I wanted to share a story here with you. This comes from the Hebrew Scriptures. It's from the book of Exodus. And it's about the fellow most of us have heard of. It's about Moses. Any good metaphysicians in the road that know what Moses, what his name represents? Oh, am I going to stump you? Moses means to pull forth, to extract. Okay? And that's kind of important when you read the stories of Moses, that what you recognize is that he's pulling forth. And in some stories you have to wonder what he's pulling forth and from whom is he pulling forth. But the story I want to share with you, Moses has helped the Hebrew people leave the Egyptians, and they're out in the wilderness. Okay? And while they're in the wilderness, every conflict, every burden, every decision, everything that happens within that community is coming to Moses. Our stories tells us that from morning to evening, there are a crowd of people around him. And when you ask them what they're doing, they tell you that they're looking for the answers from God, and that's going to come from Moses. But in our story, Moses' father-in-law shows up. His name's Jethro. And Jethro, for some reason, I don't understand in the story why, but for some reason, Moses' wife and his children are with Jethro. And they eventually find Moses in the wilderness. And once they arrive, Jethro witnesses all this taking place. All these people just milling around from morning to evening, waiting for one man to make the decision. Okay? They're not making any decisions for themselves. Just Moses is making decisions. And Jethro, being Jethro, goes up and says, I'm going to advise you. And the way he advises is says, what you're doing is not good. And he didn't mean that Moses' leadership wasn't good or that leadership wasn't good. He meant that allowing spiritual power to be in the hands of only one person versus the community was what was not good. So in our story, we're recognizing that no matter what qualities and attributes we have as an individual, it isn't for ours to be the only one that unfolds that presence and that power in our lives, but most certainly in communities. Because today I'm talking about you, but I'm talking about this community. Because this community has gone through some stuff, haven't you? Right? You've had your minister leave, you've had some other circumstances that take place, and I bet you it hadn't been easy. It's been disconcerting. It's been uncomfortable. You felt uncertainty and doubt about where you're going as a community. You're doing wonderful with that, I'm going to add. But I bet that those feelings are there, and those are normal feelings. But those are feelings that if you allow them to take you down the path, they take you away from what? They take you away from your own power. Your own power as individuals, but your own power as a community. So, Moses was told by Jethro too that you need to do something. And what you need to do is to empower the people. Help them become leaders. Help them learn how to serve and contribute and to trust them so that you're not the only one making decisions here. The community makes decisions. And if you look at the stories in the Bible, a lot of those stories got just this one big, powerful figure, and it seems like they're doing it all. But if you start reading between the lines and through the stories, you see that the power was actually in the community. Yes, this was a figurehead, but this wasn't the reason things were transpiring and unfolding the way they did. It was because the community was bringing them forth. Right? So community was awakening to their own divine capacity is what was taking place in this story. And I'm going to invite that right here, y'all are awakening. And it's not that you hadn't already awakened. Awakening is a continuing process, right? Don't we awaken, and then we awaken, and then we awaken? It's a practice. It's a process. It's continually unfolding. And it's a community you're doing that as well. So I was talking about it looked like in some ways nature was waiting, and that we sometimes are waiting. What if the waiting that we're doing isn't the only thing that's waiting? Right? Whatever that is that we might be waiting for. In your community, I don't know. I haven't asked these questions, but I wonder what y'all might be waiting for as a community. Do you think you need to wait for a minister to show up before y'all can do certain things? I'm going to invite you as a minister. No, you don't need to. And you don't want to. You want to be the power and the presence. A minister has a role. They do a role, but you don't. There's a whole new understanding within the unity movement. It's been going on for years to understand that you don't want a community to be minister-centric. You want it to be ministry-centric. And ministry means you. That you're the ones that run, control. Minister does their role, but they aren't the one that dictates everything. They aren't the Moses that's from morning to evening telling you what needs to be done and giving you every answer to every question. Right? You get to decide that. That's part of the power that we're talking about. Accessing that understanding and clarity of your own divine nature with this. Eric Brotherworth reminds us that for us to have spiritual transformation, we have to stop searching outside of ourselves and have to remember what's within us, the truth that's within us, that capital T truth, that divine nature that's within us. And when we do that, then we begin to arrive at that understanding of who we are, and we begin to experience and express it. We begin to become the hands and feet that make a difference, not only in our own personal lives, but in our community, but in our world. I'm one of those folks, I watch the news, I read those articles, and it infuriates Russ to see the things that are taking place. Right? And that's not a political statement. What infuriates me is when people are being marginalized, being pushed aside, when they're suffering more than they need to suffer. That's what gets me upset. And I believe that there's something that can be done about that. And I believe that it's communities just like this that can and will do something about that. As individuals, we can step forward, but as communities, we can be that much more powerful, empowered to make a difference in our world. Power isn't always dramatic. Power sometimes is just simply showing up. It's giving. It's serving. Sometimes it's just offering hope for those that are in despair. Offering love when it would have been a whole lot easier just to walk away. So it doesn't take this overambitious idea that power has to be something that's a margin way up here. Sometimes it's very simple. It's not dramatic for us. Linda Martella-Whitsitt. Do y'all know Linda Martella-Whitsitt? Do you know of that author? Y'all familiar with her? No? She's a Unity minister. She's written a couple great books, and one of her books is on the 12 powers. Divine Audacity is the name of the book. Right? And Linda's a little, I'm going to call her a firecracker. She's a little firecracker of a woman. A little short. Don't tangle with her. Okay? Linda teaches that spiritual power is rooted in self-mastery. Self-mastery. That it comes from our alignment with our truth. And what's our truth? When I say truth with a capital T, what do I mean? What's our truth? I am. Excellent. Yay, gold star. All right. What else? What's another way of saying that? Oh, I'm not stumping you. I know. Oneness? Yes. What else is about you? What's the truth of you? Love. Yes. What else? Divine understanding. Wisdom. And that list goes on and on and on. I knew you knew the answer. Some of you are just not willing to shout out. You may not have people up here ask you questions, do you? My Unity group, I can't shut them up out there. Okay? Like, let me finish before you jump in. Sorry, I'm diverging here. I went to a wonderful conference. I met a 21-year-old pastor from a Southern Baptist church, and he was teaching about really diversity in communities. And he stopped about 1 minute in and went, "Y'all are scaring me. And y'all are scaring me because y'all aren't talking back to me. I'm used to being in a community that they're yelling at me the whole time I'm talking." And he literally made us keep talking to him the whole time he spoke. It was what gave him the energy to carry on. Sorry, I jumped there. Y'all don't have to yell at me, okay? But I just invite you, it's okay to respond. What if what we're looking for has been looking for us? What if the power that we want, that recognition within ourselves of our own divine nature, that power? Because I believe many of us want that because I think it's inherent. We talk about principle and law and make it this cold, kind of unfeeling thing because we call it law. I don't think that law is devoid of also its own urges within it. And urges that are within us. And I think it's urging us to reach for that understanding, that clarity. So some of us have a wanting within us. And I think that that wanting that we want, that power, that presence is also wanting us. I don't think we're separate from that. And I think that's part of the spiritual transformation that takes place. It's a calling. It's an invitation to us, especially as a community, to step deeper into our understanding of who we are, of our own divine experiences that rest here. Not dependent on someone else, but here. It's calling to us. It's calling to us to remember. The Sufis have a tradition, a practice, and they call it the remembrance. And what you're doing, it's just that. Remembering who you are. Remembering that you're not whatever you're caught up in today. That's not you. There's more to you than that. What are we remembering here? So, if we don't have power, then our dreams really don't become a vision. They're just a dream. And if we don't have power, then healing is just a hope for us. And even if we don't have power, then a community is just a possibility. It isn't a reality for us. So as we access more of this power, just like Moses learned in his community that he needed to empower, he needed to share that, he needed to help people recognize who they were. And in doing that, we can step more deeply into that certainty. And we could move out of that uncertainty of, oh, what's the future going to look like? What's our next chapter going to be? I don't know those answers for you. And I bet you as a community, you don't know all that yet yourselves. But I know it's going to be magnificent. Because I watch too many communities go through what you're going through. And you're going to step through this a stronger community, a more powerful community, a more loving and compassionate and kind community. And who's going to be better for that? You are. You are, and we are, and they are. The world is going to be better because of that. I think that I'm sure my community rolls their eyes at me when I say this because I say it all the time. Right? And that's, you are not powerless. You're not insignificant and irrelevant beings. You are powerful beyond measure. And that means, thus, you matter. You're important. And sometimes in communities I hear people say, well, I don't have anything to offer. Yes, you have you to offer. Maybe you don't think you have any talents to bring forth. You do. You're just not recognizing which ones this community needs. But most importantly, it's you that this community needs. There's only one of you. There's never going to be another of you. Out of the billions of people on this planet, you're it. And if you understand that, then you understand how important you are that you show up and be a part and contribute in whatever way you contribute. That's not to find that you have to look away a certain way. Just be you and show up and contribute. You. Contribute you. So, I've taken some segues here that I didn't plan on, but that's what I do when I talk, okay? And I just want to bring us back to, as I move into our close here, bring us back to that we can wait for something, but I think that something is waiting for us, especially when we recognize that the power and the divine understanding that we're looking for and thus think we're waiting upon, it's been waiting for us to recognize it. One of my great teachers told me one time that when you recognize the truth of who you are, the truth of who you are recognizes you. And I thought, well, that kind of sounds like a patriarchal God sitting on a throne to me. He went, no, you are recognizing the divine in you. And when you do that, that power, being in its recognition, opens up. And the more it opens up, the more it opens up. And the more it opens up, the more it continues to expand and open up. So as you in this community continue to do the steps that you're doing and to remember and hold that recognition of the power that each and every one of you hold, this this world, meaning your world, will shift, will change, will unfold, and move in the direction that's being guided, being directed, unfolding in a divine way. So I'm just going to offer, y'all are not I've never thought this and never will. Y'all are not a community that's lost. They're a community that's moving forward and doing just what you need to do at the pace you need to do it. And as you continue to remember the truth of who you are, that will continue to open and expand even more. And how do you access the truth of who you are? What are the practices that we do in unity? What are the core practices of unity? Meditating, gold star again. And the other? Prayer, yes. Simple answers for that. But powerful. The way you access the truth of who you are is through prayer and meditation. And to me, in my own personal life, those are so intertwined that I can't separate the prayer from the meditation and the meditation from the prayer. And they're just the way I continue to remember. It's my remembrance practice for me, so that I can step into my world when the all heck breaks loose and not be totally caught up. Not that I don't get caught up sometimes, but not be totally caught up in that. I remember who I am. Could you put the last slide up for me, please? It says divine power is never absent. It has been waiting for us to awaken together, because there's power in the together. I love spiritual community because spiritual community is where we learn the most. You can be a guru sitting on the mountaintop, but if you want to really grow spiritually, step into a spiritual community and have all those buttons get pushed in a spiritual community, right? It's our way to grow, to expand together. But with that, I just want us to know that the power is never absent. It's not absent in this community. It's not absent in you. Thus you can utilize that. You can access that. It can be about what takes this community even more light years farther than it is right now. I hold that for you. I see that for you. I hope y'all appreciate what a beautiful grounds and building you have. What a wonderful facility. What incredible music you have. The fact that you have folks that show up, that want to participate, that you had children. There are many communities that don't. You already have those things. So acknowledge and embrace and celebrate. Have gratitude for those things. And recognize here, as we... I'm going to offer this more as... I think I'm going to offer this more as a blessing than a close for you. It is my close, but I'm going to offer it as a blessing. It says, as we may leave here today, we know that we are not powerless people hoping for a better future, but that we're spiritual beings entrusted with a divine power, and that as we pray together, as we serve together, as we heal together, we become that very power that we've been waiting for and that has been waiting on us. And with that we say, and so it is.
All right, today was an action-packed day, was it not? Thank you. And thank you to our special guest singer today, Stephen White. Thank you for and thank you, Rev Russ, for your inspiring message. We really do appreciate it. And of course, thank you for Sailor and our beautiful children at Isabel House. Thank you to our music team for the Unity Ensemble, our AV team, our ushers. I mean, we appreciate all of you to make this time special. And now we're so grateful. Now let's do that into our giving and receiving of our tithes and offerings. At the conclusion of our service, you will find offering boxes to receive your contributions both at the doors as you exit the sanctuary and on the table in the lobby, where you'll also find electronic options for giving. For those at home, those electronic options are also listed in our e-newsletter and on our Facebook and web pages. But for now, let's hold our gifts in our hands, infusing them with gratitude as we bless them with our prayer for prosperity. All together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Reverend, can you bless our tithes and offering?
Thank you. So we acknowledge the prayers that have been placed in the prayer box. And if you haven't already added that prayer, know that right now through your intention, add that in. And we're going to affirm and hold and know the truth of that request. So if you'll join me in prayer and recognizing that as that presence moves here, is alive right here in this room, whether it's a request, whether it's what's in your heart, whether it's a prayer that you know already has been answered for you, know that its source arises from the divine nature within you and with me and in us. And that the generosity that you give in this community, whether through money, through gifts, through time, however it may show up, that as you release that, so does it return. That heart that you're giving out returns to you. And you are blessed, but this community is blessed. And we give honor to those that are willing to contribute in this community, but we also honor and recognize those that have a request, a need, a desire, and that we as a community hold the truth that that is already here, already fulfilled, and unfolding perfectly into the realization that there is no absence, there is no lack. There's only the abundance and prosperity of the divine flowing forth in each and every second of our existence. And with that we say thank you, and so it is.
All right, time for some announcements. So we're now about to hit June as of tomorrow. I was mentioning to the team earlier that I can't believe that we're already halfway done with 2026. So let's get ready for the other half. And starting with, you may be curious why some people here in our congregation are wearing colorful stoles. So there are your prayer tracks.